welcome your host, Mr. Dennis Oscar. Thank you, and welcome to this first ever LMAO comedy show. What a show we've got for you tonight with 6 comedians from all over the world. So, have you all had a great summer? Like 4 or 5 of you have had a great summer. And the rest of you did what? You spent 2 months in a prison in Afghanistan, being forced to listen to Coldplay the whole time. So let's ask again, shall we? So you all had a great summer? So, I don't know about you, but when it gets hot, I always sleep naked. Yes. Maybe not talk when we're on, if you're listening to go on stage. So, okay, let's get started. So I don't know about you, but when it gets hot, I always sleep naked. Which is okay when you're at home, but not when you're having a nap on the train. But when you sleep naked, you know for a fact the mosquitoes are all thinking, all you can eat buffet! So mosquitoes have my entire body to choose from, including, admittedly, some parts which are quite soft and tender. And where do they bite me? Here on my forehead. When I wake up in the morning, I look like the elephant man. But I always try to be nice to mosquitoes. I always let them bite me first before I kill them. Much in the same way that American prisoners on death row are allowed to have their favourite last meal. Of course, the method of execution is not the same. Mosquitoes aren't killed by strapping them to a tiny little electric chair. No, mosquitoes, of course, are killed by clapping the little bastards to death. When I came on stage before, I thought you were applauding me, but maybe you were just killing mosquitoes. Oh my God. Why do people clap when their plane arrives at its destination? I tried doing that on the tram once and everyone just stared at me. But when you kill a mosquito, you look in your hand and you realise, you greedy little bastard! You just had enough of my blood to feed a family of obese vampires for a week. So last night I was in bed with my girlfriend, without mosquitoes, and we were doing the thing that couples do when they're in bed together. Looking at our phones. We're actually celebrating a really important anniversary. It's 10 years to the day since I last won an argument with my girlfriend. Is there anyone here in a long-term relationship? How long have you been together?
2 years.
2 years? That's not long. I've had arguments with my girlfriend that lasted longer than that. She recently told me, Dennis, we've been together for 15 years. I'd like to point out that she's 37. I mean, I'm not Prince Andrew. But she said, Dennis, we've been together for 15 years, so maybe it's time that we occasionally slept with other people. Now, my first reaction, my initial thought was, holy shit, that's the greatest thing anybody said in the history of the human race. I don't think I could have been happier if someone had said to me, please, have my seat on the lifeboat along with this winning lottery ticket. Would you also like a blowjob before those sharks eat me? Thank you, but I couldn't possibly accept all that from you. You can keep the lottery ticket. But then I started thinking, which of my friends is she thinking of sleeping with? I don't know, but I do know that any guys I now become friends with are going to have to be either ugly or gay, and preferably both. I actually don't think I'd mind if she slept with other people, as long as, I'm not in the room at the time. It might put me off my Sudoku. I recently told her that I wanted to read the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and she said, oh, to help with our relationship. I said, no, to make jokes about it on stage. Of course, I've not actually read it yet. One of the reasons is that we have a young daughter. And when you have kids, you get put off reading for life by having to read the same story for 476 consecutive nights. Just for a bit of variety, I tried to make changes to my daughter's story, but she'd always realise, you on this one again, honey? Little brown bear plays with his balls. Ball, Daddy. Little brown bear only has one ball. A bit like Lance Armstrong then, honey. Who's Lance Armstrong, Daddy? He's a man who cheated in a race with his bike. How did he cheat? Did the other people not have bikes? Obviously that entire conversation is made up. But this next one's actually true. Kind of. My daughter can now read, and she was recently reading out loud to me. Daddy needed a Christmas present for Mummy, so he went shopping for whores. What's that, honey? Let me have a look. went shopping for hours. He went shopping for a long time. Don't think Mummy would really appreciate prostitutes as a Christmas present, honey. Yeah, Daddy might, but not Mummy. My daughter started asking where babies come from, and that was actually easy for me to answer. I just said, oh, ask your mum. I tried to be honest with her, and I told her that Daddy puts a seed in the Mummy with his willy. How does the willy make the seed, Daddy? I think someone just found out that for the first time. How does the willy make the seed, Daddy? You have to kind of move it in the right way, honey. Can you show me? Not without getting arrested, honey, no. Funnily enough, it took exactly the same amount of time to explain to my daughter how she was conceived as it did to conceive her. But having kids, of course, changes your life. For example, before having kids, if you go out in public and you see a child crying, you'll probably think, oh, for God's sake, won't you shut up? But then, when you become a parent, and you see a sad little child crying away, you start to think, yay, it's not my child! You have a good cry, little fella. I'll just sit here and enjoy my beer, thanks very much. But kids these days, they lose a tooth, and they go into school the next day, and they tell all their friends that the tooth fairy gave them a €10 note. Holy shit, now that's inflation. If teeth are worth €10 each, there must be parents going into their kids' room at night, not to put money under the pillow, but to glue the tooth back into their child's mouth. If teeth are worth €10 each, there must be crackheads celebrating the loss of another tooth because they can go out and buy more drugs. But when kids are around 2 years old, the temper tantrums begin. And I don't mean crying a little bit or I'm a bit sad. No, this is all-out hysteria. This is like Cristiano Ronaldo if a referee's decision goes against him. This is almost as disproportionate and over the top as the way I react whenever the internet stops working. My daughter would cry like mad because her sandwich was the wrong shape. She wanted triangles, so I cut it into triangles. And then she cried like mad because she wanted a square sandwich after all. So I stuck it back together. And then she cried like mad because now her sandwich tasted of glue. I think we're ready for our first act soon. Before the show, he asked me if it's okay to swear tonight, and I said, of course. So if there's anyone here who doesn't like swearing, you might want to fuck off now. He told me that during the day he spends his time trying to cure cancer while having a hangover. So, much like me, apart from the curing cancer part. I think, oh yeah, it's his first time ever doing stand-up. And I remember the first time I did stand-up, the first time when I lost my stand-up virginity. And it was a very important moment in my life, and I was very happy because losing my stand-up virginity was like losing my actual virginity. I was happy and I was proud, and I wanted to tell all my friends about it, but the audience were very disappointed that because I was only on stage for 12 seconds.